My name is James Stewart, and I live in Whistler, BC, and I'm a sculptor. My career really started in animation for kids series, and then I went on to doing feature films after that in IMAX films. My first series, I had to group all the sculptures into some sort of unified meaning, and so I grouped it into something that I called Pangea. Every single sculpture I made was from a different country, a different continent, and so I was able to bring those all together into one Pangea show. And Jerry, the original Jerry, was from Brazil. It's a capoeira dancer from Brazil that I met on the beach, and he was dancing, and he took a break, he took a pause, and his pause was his pose. So I had all these quite flamboyant, quite strong poses that I could have sculpted, but I really felt that this captured more A, Brazil, and B, this energy that I wanted to capture than any other pose that he had done. The 3D printed Jerry sculpture is actually this, just taken to the next level. Instead of using the bronze format, I'm using this other medium, and I'm fascinated with the medium and where it's going, and I just want to make sure that I'm current with it all. The piece where I'm using Photoshop, the reason why that's actually come together, it's kind of like a marriage between my old life and my new life. It's taking the original sculpted piece, and then it's taking my old life of being able to texture a 3D object, and then using 3D printing to be able to print it. What's fascinating is that just the same sort of symbology that's all over this sort of subjective sort of skin, is kind of what I'm exaggerating with the Adobe Photoshop work. And so Jerry, that's been printed, has those two combinations. It's got the graffiti, it's got the fine art, it's got Picasso images on it, it's got Marilyn Monroe, it's got different aspects of art that are all over his body, yet at the same time it's actually a hand-sculpted sculpture. It's got the hand of the master, so to speak, and it's also got the environment on him. I love the dichotomy between the fact that it's actually a hand-sculpted sculpture that's been printed. Here's Jerry scanned in as a 3D model. And you can see, the computer has no problem moving it around. Obviously, it's pretty smooth. When you scan in data from a real sculpture, that's some heavy data set. I mean, you're talking millions of polygons, and only certain programs can handle that level of detail, especially when it comes to making UVs. I mean, you're chopping up a model that's 3 million polygons into a whole bunch of flat surfaces, and it's just simply not easily done. But the last thing I want to do is dumb down that piece. I want to actually keep the detail as high as possible so that you see my fingerprints on the final sculpture. And the fact that Photoshop was able to do this better than other programs was a surprising aspect. My hesitation, and I'm sure everybody's hesitation with 3D printing, is going to be the association with a cheaper art form. So the way I've entered that world is I've decided that if I limit my editions of the prints and destroy the files, therefore there's no way to recreate that file again. And so by giving the 3D work an edition of 9, it limits its accessibility and therefore keeps it as in the fine art world. And it's not therefore a 3D printed toy that you can get anywhere.